Hola a todos, mi nombre es Andrés Jaramillo, soy pianista concertista colombiano y quiero invitarlos a ver Cafecitos con Don Germán. No se lo pierdan. Thank you everyone for being here. I love this intimacy of this recital so far. So I'm going to share with you what is the second part or second volume of A Journey of Immigrants. The last year at Montecito I shared with you the first part. Today new pieces, especially two world premieres that I had the blessing to have in February in Los Angeles. And today is the second time that I'm going to be performing. So I'm going to start with the first set of three that you have in your programs. I titled the first set as Three Romantic Pieces, and I wanted to join me in this journey of immigration. First year, we emphasized the emotional part of the immigrant, what psychology calls the Ulysses syndrome, all the 5 stages. We're going to talk about that tomorrow in Maestra Paola's recital at night at 7 here. But today I would like to highlight multiculturalism. How every time as an immigrant that we come to a new place, we bring our culture, but also we absorb the new culture, and that creates a subculture. So the first 3 pieces are tied in the idea of the nostalgia, the homesick. So the first is a Chopin mazurka, one of his last mazurkas. And I chose Chopin because he had a big impact and influence in 2 Colombian composers from the Romantic period, Calvo and Mejia, which are the piece number 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. So this mazurka in C-sharp minor evokes that homesick that Chopin had when he left Poland when he was 22 years old because of the war. And he never returned. He went to Germany first, and then he spent the rest of his life in France, in Paris. And in all his music, the polonaises and all of that, but especially in the mazurkas, he's bringing back this homesick. So you will feel a lot of that in that mazurka. The next piece, Calvo. Calvo is a Colombian composer, also from the Romantic period, as I said before. He got a big influence from Chopin. You will see kind of Chopin with some coffee flavor. And he is bringing that nostalgia in a slow dance that you will see in the left hand, but very Chopin, but also very Colombian at the same time. I'm Colombian, by the way. That's why my coffee accent, as I said here. And the third piece by the Colombian composer Mejia, called Pincho, is a piece that it brings a little bit more of the Caribbean rhythms, keeping the same sense of nostalgia. So enjoy these 3 miniatures, which are big miniatures of Chopin, Calvo, and Mejia. After that, I will introduce the second set, then the last piece of the first half, which is one of the premieres, intermission, and then the piano concerto. But I need you to pray for me. Okay, enjoy this first romantic piece. three pieces, talking about that multiculturalism of composers writing music from different cultures. I want to share with you three pieces of composers who wrote some music from different culture of their own. So I'm going to open with Barber, and one of his souvenirs called Hesitation Tango. But tango is not from America. Barber was from America, but tango is from Argentina. So my teacher, one of my teachers, he used to say that he was smart to just title Hesitation Tango, to do not be super compromised, but I think this tango is incredible and very well written. After that I go another Mejia piece, Colombian composer writing a samba from Argentina. There are two kinds of sambas. The samba with Z, which is from Argentina, and the samba with S, which is from Brazil, that we're gonna explore that in the concerto later, which is the fast one. But the samba from Argentina is slow and very nostalgic as well, in three. And finally, this set of three pieces, I will close it with a very well-known piece by Ernesto Lecuona, a Cuban composer, called La Comparsa. And that third piece is just the story of a kid in the middle of the road, a poor kid in Cuba, listening to a carnival procession and the drums, and he doesn't have the money to pay to get into the party that they have in that carnival procession. So in Latin America, usually you have a big car and a lot of noise and music and a queen or a princess just sending flowers and kisses to everybody and everybody yelling. So this kid is in the middle of the road listening to the drums, which you will hear in my left hand, like this. Those are the drums of Latin America, and the singing in the right hand of all. And this piece has kind of the Doppler effect, starts in minor, and then the queen decides to cross in front of his house. And the excitement goes in front of him, and that's a major, from F sharp minor to A sharp major, and that explosion, and then the car just goes away, and you hear the drums going away, far away, and that's the end of the piece. That's the next three sets, so enjoy, and then we go to the next one. this first set is it's called bulerías, which is kind of the flamenco from Spain, different styles. And for you as a musicians, you can feel it as 1 bar of 6 and 1 bar of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what the guitar used to do. And they do this. I'm not gonna dance in front of the cameras today, but it's kind of like that. And the composer, who is a Spanish-American composer living in Turkey, a lot of multiculturality there, he is using some contemporary elements, some extended techniques that you will see, percussion and all of that, and the sonority of the guitar in a modern 20th century language. The middle section, which is slow, you will hear something that is called cantadores, which are all of the singers from Spain. Cantadores is a technique that some flamenco singers used to use. I'm not a flamenco singer, but I hope this is not. And they have that kind of vibrato, and they train their voice for that. So he's trying to emulate that in some sections of the piano. It's for you who love theory, nerdy people, it's a rounded binary form or ternary, but it's growing as well. Composer Isaac Friedhof Calvo, and enjoy bulerías. After that, I take a 5 minutes break, and then we go right to the concerto. piano concerto was originally written for a chamber ensemble and piano, where the pianist has to conduct and play at the same time. And I have the blessing to premiere this at USC in 2017. With Piano Sphere's residency, which is where I've been the guest artist for the last 2 years, the residency, they said we need to do it for solo piano. So I spoke to the composer. I said, let's do it for solo piano. So we put it together, the orchestra and the piano part in one piano. That's why I was asking you to play for me. And there are some elements that we had to add as extended techniques that you will see in the third movement for the explosion of Latin America. What is the composer? Héctor Pinzón, who is a Colombian composer living in Canada. That generation, or actually the last four generations of pianists in my school in Corpus, and today I actually have the honor to have one of my teachers here, Maestra Inés Leiva, that I want to honor. Coming from that school and the Russian school in Corpus, we grew up playing Scriabin, Shostakovich, Rahman, Prokofiev, and but also some rancheras and vallenatos and rhythms from Latin America everywhere. So it was this collage of classical music, because we grew up with Russians living in Colombia for the exchange of teachers that we had during the Cold War, with the partnership between the Tchaikovsky Conservatory and Colombia government. But at the same time, we were Colombians with salsa and all of that, rhythms from Latin America. So it's kind of a collage in our ears that we have inventions of Bach, and then we have a vallenato, ay hombre! And we have all of that, and the concerto is exploring that. So the first movement is very Russian in the good way. That is you will hear a lot of Shostakovich textures, a lot of Scriabin, a lot of Prokofiev, but inside the tunes are actually Colombian tunes. For instance, in the first movement, you're going to hear something like this, which is a Colombian tune in Shostakovich style. That's actually a tune that Colombians here who are doing. Yes, you recognize. So the first movement is in sonata later form, but he's exploring those elements. He was saying, oh no, we need to stay in our school, playing Bach, playing Russian composers, and then maybe a bambuco or a Colombian dance pumps up, and then, you control yourself. So the first movement is that kind of controlling thing in the middle of the virtuosism. Second movement is a bambuco nostalgia of home, homesick, but in the 20th century language, like quartal harmonies, extended techniques as well, and some quintal harmonies, but beautiful bambuco. The same dance that I played yesterday, but in 20th century, 21st century language. And the last movement is the explosion of Latin America. It's when the pianist said, no, listen, yes, thank you, Russia, for all the legacy. Thank you, all European schools, but we are Latinos. And the pianist just explodes in samba, salsa, habanera, a bunch of styles that you will hear during the piece. But sometimes he has those kind of, how do you say that? Sometimes those clicks that he's playing some salsa, and then he goes to back later again, and then he goes to salsa. So you'll see all of that. Feel free to laugh a little bit. But it's kind of that collage. The main point of that is that multiculturalism is full of that beautiful wrestling of finding our identity. That now I'm 100% Colombian, but I'm also 100% American. Because a lot of my stories here and my history is here. Same, most of you, if you're not, maybe your grandparents or your parents who migrated here from different countries. So this concerto is finding our own identity in that journey of the immigrant, of different cultures and musics, etc. So enjoy this three-movement concerto for piano solo by Héctor Pinzón.
name, Nazareth, is not from his hometown. He's Jesus of Nazareth, but he was born in Bethlehem. And Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach, has a choral that I love that is called I Call on You, Lord Jesus Christ.